Hey everybody. I hope that you are well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on subject and predicate. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts. Grade 4, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of subject and predicate. All right. So our chapter is subject and predicate. Our subject is English language arts, grade 4. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on under the chapter of subject and predicate is to identify the complete subject of a sentence and to identify the complete predicate of a sentence. All right. So when it comes to subject and predicate, right? A subject of a sentence, right? Or before we go on to the subject, every sentence has a subject and it has a predicate, right? So every sentence has a subject and every sentence has a complete predicate. And a complete subject, right? It tells us who or what is doing something. It can either be one word or it can be more than one word. And an example, right, is where we say she sleeps a lot. So now the question is who sleeps a lot? Because remember they said that with the complete subject, it tells us who or what is doing something. So she sleeps a lot. So it's like us asking ourselves, who sleeps a lot? And then we can say she sleeps a lot because she is our subject. So it can either be she or it can even be someone's name. If we look at the next one, it says her friend sleeps a lot. So once again, we're asking ourselves who sleeps a lot. And then we can say her friend, both her and friend. So her friend sleeps a lot. And remember, we said that a subject can either be one word, like for example, she, or it can be more than one word, like her friend. And the next sentence is her best friend sleeps a lot. Her best friend sleeps a lot. And if we were to identify our subject, right? If we ask who sleeps a lot, then we can say her best friend. And remember, we said that a subject can either be one word or it can be more than one word. All right. So if we look at all three of these sentences, right, each of these sentences has a complete subject and it tells us who sleeps a lot, right? So it tells us who sleeps a lot. And that we call a complete subject, right? And a complete subject, it tells us who or what is doing something, right? And we say that a complete subject can either be one word or it can be more than one word, right? And that is a complete subject. It can be one word or it can be more than one word, and it tells us who or what is doing something. It can either be like this, where we say she, or it can be someone's name, where we can either say, for example, just an example, Matthew, or we can say Jade sleeps a lot, right? So you can actually, it can be either the name or the pronoun, right? But it needs to tell us who or what is doing something. And then we have a predicate, right? And a complete predicate. It tells us what the subject is doing. And a complete predicate or predicate, it is a verb plus any other word that tells us more about it. And once again, a predicate, right, can either be one word or it can be more than one word. So it doesn't just have to be the verb, like the one word verb. It can be one word, which is only the verb or the action, or it can be more than one word. And more than one word is going to be that word, the verb, plus any other word that tells us more about the subject. All right. And if we look at our examples, right, it says, her friend sleeps. Her friend sleeps. So now we need to ask ourselves, what is her friend doing? So, what is her friend doing? And we can say sleeps. So, sleeps is our verb. So, what is her friend doing? She sleeps. So, sleeps is our verb. Or if you look at the next sentence, it says her friend sleeps a lot, right? So, what is her friend doing? Sleeps a lot. Remember, we said it can either only just be one word or it can be more than one word, meaning it is the verb plus any other words to tell us more about it. And then the next one is her friend sleeps a lot on a weekend or on the weekend. So now we ask, what is her friend doing? What is the subject doing? Sleeps a lot on the weekend. So basically, the predicate, it tells us what the friend does. Right? So remember, we have a subject and we have a predicate, right? That shows a complete sentence. We said a complete subject, right? It tells us who or what is doing something. And then a predicate, right? It tells us what the subject is doing, and it is the verb plus any other word that tells us more about it. All right. So now we're going to aplusstudents.ca, where we are going to be doing our tutorial as well as our test. All right, so we're identifying the complete subject of a sentence. Once again, we said that every sentence has a complete subject and it has a complete predicate and a complete subject. It tells us who or what is doing something, and it can either be one word or it can be more than one word. All right, so we are now going to select or identify the subjects, right? It says the children obey the rules. We need to select two words that make up a complete subject. Two words that make up a complete subject. So we said a complete subject, it tells us who or what is doing something. And now we need to identify our subject in the sentence. It says the children obey the rules. So the children obey the rules. We need to select the subject, two words. So the children obey the rules. We need to select two words that make up a complete subject. All right, so if we were to select our two subjects, I got two words basically, which is the subject, and then we can say the children. So the children, that's our two words, the and children. So the children obey the rules. So who obeys the rules? The children. They obey the rules. All right, so we said the children is the subject, and within that sentence, the children obey the rules. The children. All right. My family celebrates my birthday. My family celebrates my birthday. We need to select the subject, which is two words. So my family celebrates my birthday. We need to select two subjects or two words in that sentence that shows a complete subject. All right. So if we were to select the two words, we would say my and family. So my family. What are your family doing? They celebrate my birthday. Right? So the two words is our subjects. All right, we need to select one word that makes up the complete subject. Dad avoids the traffic. Dad avoids the traffic. We need to select our subject. So we're selecting one word. It says dad avoids the traffic. We need to select the one word within that sentence to make up a complete subject. All right, and if we select our subject, we can say it's dad. All right, so dad is all right. So once again, we see the complete subject. It tells us either who or what is doing something. Can either be one word or it can be more than one word. All right, so let's go to our test. We need to select two words that make up a complete subject, right? Two men delivered the furniture. Two men delivered the furniture. We need to select the two words that make up a complete subject. Is it two and furniture or two and men? All right, so we need to select the two words that make up a complete subject, and we said two men delivered the furniture. Is it option one or option two? For two furniture, or is it two men? All right, and if we select our subject, we can say the second option, which is two men. All right, so well done. Well done. A pig snorted loudly. A pig snorted loudly. We need to select the subject. Is it a pig, two words, a pig or pig snorted? So a pig or pig snorted. Remember, we are selecting the subject, right? It tells us who or what is doing something. So who or what is doing something? Is it a pig or pig snorted? Who or what is doing something? Two words. Is it a pig or pig snorted? All right, so if we were to select the two words, we would say a pig. So a pig, right? That is our subject. Because remember, snorted is a verb. It's the action that the pig does, right? All right, we need to select two words that make up a complete subject, right? It says the sun shone brightly. The sun shone brightly. Is it shone, sun shone, or the sun? So sun shone or the sun, which is our two. We need to select our two words that make up a complete subject. All right, then if we select the correct word, right, it will be the sun, right? That's our two words that makes up a complete subject. So the sun. So well done. Mud streaked the floor. One word. Mud streaked the floor. Is it streaked or is it mud? So is it streaked or mud? One word only. Streaked or mud. All right. Then if we select our correct subject, right, we would say it is mud. Right? So mud, it streaked the floors. All right, so we need to select now four words that make up a complete subject. It says the baby's tiny eyes blinked. The baby's tiny eyes blinked. Four words. Is it the baby's tiny eyes or is it baby's tiny eyes blinked? Remember, usually our subject is the beginning of the sentence, right? We're starting with the. So is it the baby's tiny eyes or just baby's tiny eyes blinked? All right, and if we were to select the four words that make up a complete subject, right? And then we will say the baby's tiny eyes. So well done. The first one is correct. So well done for changing your mind. The first one is correct. Well done. Yes, so that is a subject. It tells us who or what is doing something, right? All right, so now we're going to identify a complete predicate of a subject. So, complete predicate of a subject. And we said when it comes to a complete predicate, right? Once again, every sentence has a complete subject and it has a complete predicate, right? And a complete predicate, it tells us what the subject is doing. It tells us what the subject is doing. It's a verb plus any other word that tells us more about it. So the predicate, it's the verb. All right. So if we look at this one, it says select two words that make up a complete predicate. A predicate, remember it's a verb, it's an action. So two words. It says Josie's dad designs houses. So Josie's dad designs houses. We need to select the two words that make the complete predicate. All right. So Josie's dad designs houses. So basically, designs houses is our predicate. All right. So it says we need to select two words, right? Two words that make up a complete predicate. And once again, a predicate is like a verb, right? And every other word that basically goes with that verb. The anchor sank quickly. All right, and if we look at our sentence, the anchor sank quickly. And if we were to select the verb, we would say the two words would be sank and quickly. Sank and quickly. That is the two words. That is a predicate within that sentence. And mud streaked the floors. Mud streaked the floors. We must select three words that make up a complete predicate. Three words. Mud streaked the floor. Remember, it is the verb plus every other word that follows. So in this case, we can say streaked the floor. All right. All right, so now let's do our test, where we are going to identify the complete predicate of a sentence. So we say two men delivered the furniture. So is it option one, delivered the furniture, or option two, men delivered the? All right, and if we were to select the correct option, we would say delivered the furniture. So yes, that is correct. The first one is correct. So well done. Number one is correct, which is the furniture. Dad avoids the traffic. Dad avoids the traffic. We need to select the three words that make up a complete predicate. So dad avoids the traffic. Three words. Is it avoids the traffic, or is it dad avoids the? Avoids the traffic, or dad avoids the? All right, and if we select the correct one, we would say, remember, Dad avoids the traffic. A predicate is a verb, right? It's the verb, it's the action. Dad is a subject. So dad is the subject. We need to first start with our verb and see what the action is that dad does. So basically, we need to say what dad does without using dad's name. All right, so we will say avoids the traffic, right? So who avoids the traffic? Dad avoids the traffic. What is dad doing? Avoids the traffic, right? So avoids the traffic is our option. We need to select two words that make up a complete predicate. Two words that make up a complete predicate. It says the anchor sank quickly. What happened to the anchor? So now I need to say what happened to the anchor. It sank quickly, or do we say anchor sank? Remember, we start with a verb. We start with our verb. Sank quickly, or anchor sank. All right, and if we were to select the correct one, we would say sank quickly. So well done. The first option is correct. So well done. All right, let's do the last one. It says three butterflies fluttered by. Three butterflies fluttered by. We need to select the two words that make up the complete subject. Three butterflies, sorry, fluttered by. What did the three butterflies do? All right, so if we select the last one, we would say fluttered by. So fluttered by. Remember, we say it's the action that the bird or the butterfly is doing. So the action that the butterfly is doing. So the butterfly fluttered by, right? All right, so that is the end of our lesson on subject and predicate. Thank you very much for joining the class. I really hope you're going to have a good weekend further. Goodbye.